did you guys
yeehaw
do?
stuff. What did you guys do?
Appalachian, New York is a very,
New York. Okay.
very small farm town in upstate New York. Still has a red light at the end of it where it meets 434.
Okay.
Has a post office and a fire station.
Okay.
And known for a very important large Mafia bus in 1957. There's
Mafia bus?
There's actually a paperback and a movie about Appalachian.
What's the movie or paperback?
Appalachian.
It's just called Appalachian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's all about the mom?
It's a huge bust.
Look at it. On this day in 1957, the FBI finally had to admit that the Mafia existed.
They were all gathered in a farmhouse, the leaders of the main mob families, and they were basically working out jurisdictions, properties.
I think I was researching some stuff one time, and I stumbled across this meeting happened after a failed meeting in Cleveland because the Cleveland family fucked up the meeting, and they got mad. So like, fuck it, we're doing it in New York.
Yep, they did it, and so the two sheriffs just saw these black Cadillacs and Lincolns going up to this farmhouse, and I think if memory serves me right, they kind of fucked up and all panicked and ran into the woods. In fact, no, they did do that. But if they would have said, "Hey, we're just hanging out,"
right?
What are you going to prove? But they all bailed, and they ran into that. If I remember right, they're coming out of the woods near where my grandma's house was. That was a dirt road back then, and I could take you there. The house is on top of a little hill behind the area where we have our firemen's field days every year. Yeah.
State troopers noticed all the fancy cars parked in Barbara's driveway and started taking down license plate numbers. Some have suggested that. How hard back then in the 57, you get a license plate number. What is it, like a week until you find out whose fucking car it is? You know what I mean? It suggests that one of the Genovese rivals tipped the cops in hopes of spoiling Genovese's crown ceremony. Oh, God. The assembled mafioso noticed this and began to panic. Some fled into the woods, some hid in the basement. Others ran to their cars and tried to drive away. The troopers caught about 60 of them. When questioned, many insisted they were there for a barbecue.
Yes.
They had just come to visit their good friend Joe Barbara, who was recovering from a heart attack. When all was said and done, the troopers had apprehended mafia leaders from New York, New Jersey, Tampa, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Dallas, Pittsburgh,
it was a big meeting.
And other locations. But isn't that funny? Like, what did they bust them for? Just being there?
I don't know.
Were they all wanted already? They just...
Well, I think the paperwork laying on the inside was showing dividing up territories. And
boy.
it was one of the first times that the FBI had proof.
Hold up. Look at this. The whole thing made national news and finally forced the FBI to acknowledge that organized crime was a matter worthy of notice. Some believe that J. Edgar Hoover's reluctance to acknowledge the mob's existence can be ascribed to the mafia somehow acquiring photographs of Hoover in drag and using those to blackmail him into leaving the mafia alone. There is no evidence to suggest that this is true. That was always the rumor that he but that would be the rumor if there was a guy that ran the FBI. Like, what dark secrets does he have? You know, if he's like holding the secrets of everyone.
What's his secret?
What's his secret? Probably you'd have to have secrets. You'd probably go crazy if you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, like you're the one who keeps the secrets. You'd probably do the weirdest shit. So
Possible.
So almost automatically you would think that he would wear drag.
Yeah,
right?
That's where my brain goes.
That's where my brain would go. Like he's doing some freak shit.
He's doing some, quote, freak shit.
Freak shit.
Freak
and
shit.
You know, if you are more, dark-minded, you would think even horrible things. They're doing horrible things. That's always the worry that people have about like the elites. Like, what are they doing? Like the skull and bones and like what kind of fucking rituals? What kind of Bohemian
freak
Grove.
Ass shit are they doing?
What freak shit are you doing? You know,
and getting away with.
Yeah, when you're on a $500 million yacht every weekend and you're just fucking balling all over the world, hanging out with your other balling all over the world buddies, doing freak shit.
Yep.
Staying in the club together. Mm-hmm. Hunting people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Freaky.
Yeah.
So anyway, background, small South Appalachian Baptist church. My dad's a deacon at the church. My sister is married somebody who's a pastor, and she moved to France, Montpellier, and she's a missionary there. So all the basic Christian education, I got it.
But no one has had conversations with the devil, right?
No, not really.
No, but people, I bet you've talked to people that said God has talked to them.
I don't know. My dad would never say God talked with me directly. Said, he reads the Bible.
It's not an uncommon thing, though, right?
No, but my background or the church I grew up in and my mom and dad are pretty strict. Like Pastor Walter growing up, that guy was a logger. You know, this was a small little town.
That's a cool story.
And he had, I'm not kidding, he had a scar from here down through his jaw to here. A chainsaw jumped back and went, cut him right through the face. That's a man. That's a manly man right there.
It's like a Ted the Atlas scar.
Took himself to the hospital.
Fuck yeah, he
with
did.
a towel on the side or a shirt on the side of his face.
Of course he did.
Yes, he did.
Probably would have fucking stapled it shut if he had a stapler in the car.
And he was the nicest, pleasant, like, hi, good afternoon.
Yeah,
you know, he
guy's
wasn't
seen
like
some shit.
Oh my
He
goodness.
doesn't have to convince you.
So everything, it was real simple. Here's a good book, read it. If it says yes, do it. If it says no, don't. That's all. There's no pomp and circumstance.
Right.
There's no
That's
robes.
your
There's no,
childhood.
real simple, real straightforward. But my dad would be interested, and he'll be listening to this. So he would be interested in your thing if the end times doesn't come, and Satan can say, hey, guess what I can do?
But here's the thought.
Would somebody take that?
If Satan really was clever,
if he's real, he is the prince and power of the air. He
Right.
is the great deceiver. He's very clever.
right? But if Satan is a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
what a genius thing to make it ridiculous to believe in him. What a genius thing to make it so that even saying you've communicated with Satan or saying
You sound like a loon.
You sound like a loon.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Because if you
we were just
negate
talking about this the
him-
other night. I said that if the president said God is with our troops, we would say awesome. But if the president said we've located the devil, he's in Afghanistan, and we're beginning bombing,
You'd be in
you'd
nutshell.
be like, what? What the fuck did
And
you
you're
just
right
say?
about genius, because if you're ridiculed or look like a loon for believing in Satan, then by default you're a loon for believing in God. So he's done his job by negating everything.
Well, sort of.
Well, to
because
a point,
a lot of
'cause
people that believe in God,
they're both in the same book.